Hey guys, and welcome back to Sonic Unleashed. The horror of Arid Sands Day is behind us now, and we're heading back to Empire City, but first we must ask permission from the Pickle. And what was Sonic doing back there? He was popping a squat or something.
Yeah, Sonic's just wherever Sonic wants to be. But yeah, like in this part we're going to be heading towards Empire City Day, which you sort of tossed back Arid Sands Day, but Empire City Day can have its own little bunch of quirks that can make it just as difficult.
Well, give us an example here. I'm sure we'll see tons of visual ones in a second, but phrase it in the form of a limerick if possible.
Well, I'm not good with words like that, so I'll just say that the things that sort of got in your way a bit in Arid Sands Day were like the people in the way, the spike pit. In Empire City, it's more that there's lots of things for you to fall off of, which, you know, it's always a fun time.
Well, what part of Skyscraper Scamper do you not understand? You know, you're hopping to and fro from skyscraper to skyscraper.
Well, yes, but that doesn't mean that the skyscrapers should have all manner of spikes sticking off of them to try and throw you off things.
Fair point.
Look at this fucking frame rate, though.
God damn. Why is that? Is it the background, do you think?
I honestly don't know. It might have something to do with like all the trees and foliage and that around, but
I think it is, if only because considering... Obviously we haven't made it to Adabat yet, but when we get into Adabat, half the problem with that in its frame rate is the foliage. So I think it's a mixture of foliage and the fountain that causes the freak out, because obviously it doesn't seem to like water all that much, as we saw in the Tunan hub world.
Alright, Skyscraper Scamper Day. Like Flame mentioned in a previous part, Empire City completely non-existent in the Wii version of the game, so it's all HD here. Baby and Richie, I'm going to throw it to you first. What's the deal with Empire City Day? Why don't you like it so much?
It's not that I don't necessarily like it, it's just that it's one of my least favourites, and I think it's because there's lots of pathways like that where it's very easy to just drift off into nothingness, but then also there's a lot of spikes in your path, which, like this, where it's very easy to accidentally run into something that you don't intend to run into, and then because there's no real barrier on the side of these things, it's very easy to just slide straight off, which is just not the most fun thing in the world. And
in addition to that, you know, I'll cut Unleashed slack wherever possible, but Sonic's walking physics, shall we say, leave a lot to be desired when it comes to precision platforming. You know, when you're boosting and going left fast, etc., you know, in epic meme velocity, it's fine, but when they want you to go as slow, you will go astray most of the time.
See, where you were wrong there is you said that Sonic has a walking motion. He doesn't, he has a sliding motion.
Well, he has a sauntering motion, shall we say.
It's about the halfway point, but I will say that particular, like, jump pad there with the QTE, I had multiple attempts where I boosted onto that, and for some reason the QTE just doesn't load up sometimes, and I just go flying into the fucking pit.
Oh, I don't feel sorry for you at all. In fact, the opposite. I take Schadenfreude from those instances.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
Excellent, Rebol, excellent. Okay, to actually give a little bit of praise to the stage, you know, apart from being kind of grey and drab, it does have some, like, cool visual bits going to it, at least. You know, this is pretty cool, I guess, apart from the electric strip, whatever, that they throw down, which is a little bit dickish. You know, you gotta get used to jumping over obstacles, I suppose. And when, you know, the trailers for the levels were coming out, right before I think this one leaked, I envisioned Sonic down on street level, like doing quick steps between, you know, oncoming cars and whatnot. We sort of got that to a much lesser degree, but I think they could have done, like, a little bit more. I think they could have advanced it slightly.
Well, we've got more interactions with the cars, like in Speed Highwaying Gens. That's kind of where they used that idea. This is more of a sort of, you don't go down here at all intentionally. You might unintentionally, but this little sideway here I'm going the way that avoids the section running along the side of the building. Because
oh, thank God for that, because that is awful.
Yeah, that is like probably the most annoying section of the level because like you're going fast and you've got a sidestep while at a side-on angle that you can't properly make out the perspective, and so you got to dodge the spike balls that are somehow floating next to this skyscraper.
Oh, come on, let's not get into a physics debate here with Senor Blue Hedgehog, who breaks the speed of sound, or whatever, you know. Let's get out of this frame rate nightmare and head back to Shamar, I think, Flame.
Yes, we are going to the most exciting of levels, you know.
I have to say, though, you did a really fucking good job in that run of Skyscraper Scamper Day, and while it is a shame that you left out the, you know, running on the side of a skyscraper thing, which I would say is the main set piece of the level, still pretty fluid overall, so kudos, mate.
Yep, that was well worth the entire afternoon.
And to be fair, like, having played through Unleashed quite a few times now, I never knew that that was a path that you could take, so I'm very happy that there is a way to avoid that section, because it's god-awful!
Well, I wouldn't say god-awful, but god-tricky. Gosh darn tricky.
Yeah, I will say that the particular route I went, there is the section where you got to homing attack the enemies with projectiles. That can catch you off if you try to homing attack a bit quick, because then you'll get hit by it and just fall into the pit. So it's like the risk or reward sort of thing. Although I just find that the preferable route because it's easier to take one risk than to have the multiple spike balls.
Alright, Arid Sands Night. Kind of looking like the HD version so far, but I have a feeling it's going to diverge pretty quickly, isn't it, Flame?
Yeah, this one is, to my recollection, the first of the Wii night stages where there's actually 4 different subsets of it.
Goody.
Yeah, and one thing that sticks out to me right away is this level looks incredibly saturated.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
Jesus.
Not like just on its own, but also compared to the HD equivalent of it. Like, these are some really fucking vivid yellows and oranges we got going on here.
Yes, but to be fair, I actually quite like that, because one of the problems that I have with the HD version of this stage is that it's quite bland in its coloration, because it's just sort of that muddy yellow for so much of it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm already bored by the time I'm through to the second room, whereas this is just like, oh, there's actually a little bit of vibrancy going on. It's maybe a little bit too much the other way.
Yeah.
It just makes it a little bit more visually exciting, I think.
It's like, oh my god, I can feel my heart beating, my brain sending signals of pleasure. Oh god, I feel alive!
Well, it's a similar kind of thing to what we noticed with Cool Edge Night, isn't it? That, like, the Wii version just really ramps up the colour, which I guess that is just to kind of compensate for the fact that it's not as detailed, but you know, on the whole, I would rather take this than take the more muted thing.
Yeah, so I was laughing back there because those two, like, blue nightmares were just kind of sauntering around the corner and then saw the Werewolf and decided to attack it.
Well, Flame, you know how you're bringing up the fact that it's maybe to kind of cover the fact that it's not as detailed. I think in general, it's just the way that developers seem to go quite often when they're dealing with realism versus cartoonishness.
Have we not had this discussion before, or is it, like, slightly different?
I mean, we probably have had it slightly before.
Okay.
But it's the whole thing of whenever developers are trying to create a realistic world, is more the case quite a few years ago now, where if it was a realistic game you had all the awful browns and greys and that was basically your colour palette, that was realistic. And all the cartoony games were very vibrant and bright and colourful.
Yeah, almost to a childish degree, really.
Yes. And I think, it seems to me at least, that Unleashed is sort of affected by that dichotomy in a way, because the HD version, which could be classified as the realistic version, massive air quotation marks because you're playing as a massive blue hedgehog, but it's the one that has a more realistic lighting engine and all of that, so it goes for a slightly more muted colour palette, whereas the Wii version and the PS2 version is very much more cartoony in its presentation, and therefore it takes a more cartoony colour palette. And I suppose it's kind of because they potentially saw that we're going to get more kids buying this version of the game
than
the HD version.
Wii, Sonic
Exactly.
games. Sonic games tend to do traditionally well on Nintendo platforms versus HD ones.
Nintendo games are for kids, yeah, got it.
Yeah, perhaps that was part of the logic behind going with this type of colour for the game, but that might just be like pulling all sorts of logistical reasoning out of my ass.
Now let's see if we can go apart without saying the words coloration or tone or anything thereof.
Well, Tom, you see, I like this atmosphere and this aesthetic.
Yeah, we got the aesthetic quota in as well.
Take that off the list. Well, that's a pretty bog standard level for like a Wii counterpart. I hope they mix it up a bit now.
Yeah, like, that was sort of the stepping into it one, and that's the thing that I've noticed with some of the Wii levels as well. It's like the first one is the playing it safe, just introducing you to the atmosphere, and then just like it starts exploring different facets of it in the second and third ones. Because like now we've got this more sort of winding road sort of approach to Shamar.
Oh, this is like the later portions of the HD version. I kind of don't mind the night stuff being split up if it allows them to, focus on different set pieces, separately and such, and try and develop them to the best of their potential.
Well, I think one of the possible reasons why they might have taken the idea of splitting it up and shit is that because the Wii's a less powerful system, I wonder if there's any sort of like technical reasons, like it can only load up so much of the world that the level setting and that.
It can't contain the Unleashed engine for more than 10 minutes at a time.
I think it might be a thing that I know with the HD one, at least for the day levels, there's the way it loads in the level is that as you pass certain parts of the level, it just sort of prompts the game to load up the next bit. And I don't know whether the Wii's as good at loading on the fly like that, because that seems like the kind of thing it might need more processing power just to be like a few steps ahead of the game. So they might have just taken it in that direction to like, okay, we can just load up these particular objects, these particular assets, and we'll make something from that. And then once that's done, then we'll just load up the next one in a new level.
I gotta say, the level design here is looking very God of War right now.
Last time we brought that up, we ended up in a little tangent about swan sex, so let's move on.
Yeah, let's stay as far away from the swan sex as possible, lest we revive the Penders era of the Archie comics. Jesus Christ.
Wait, shit, did it get that batshit?
Oh, don't Flame, don't.
See, all I know about that guy is that it's really fucking fun to argue with him on Twitter about literally anything.
Stop baiting him, you know he's gonna take it.
Hey, I managed to convince him that Egoraptor's a girl. Like, come on, that's impressive.
You were talking to him about traps or something. Stop being such a fucking troll.
He's too easy.
I guess.
Yes, but Tom, you seem to forget Flame is basically a professional troll.
I won't say professional, adept maybe, but
okay.
To be professional,
amateur troll.
To be professional, you need to be like that guy who's like ranting and raving on what the fuck is that like American news thing with the crazy guys? Like they put stuff in the water that turns the friggin' frogs gay.
I don't know.
Are you talking about Fox News? Or?
No. I wish I'd like buy a subscription and turn in then. I know someone in the audience is gonna know what I'm talking about. It's the crazy ranting dude who it's very entertaining, I've got to say. But enough about that. We're at the end of the level now, and of course we've got some big ol' Burfers to deal with. I've actually forgotten what they're really called, but you can take them out easy with your Unleash Power trademark, so it ain't nothing but a thing. But of course, they've got to throw the bees in there as well, just cause.
They've got to throw the bees in there, and they've got to throw the fucking shockwave. But yeah, the bees are still pretty fucking annoying.
I think it's Shamar where my tolerance with the bees hit an all-time low, to be honest. Like, they were slightly annoying in Shan'an, but in Shamar, for some reason, they're like bopping about all over the screen and whatnot, trying to imitate their hero, Sonic the Hedgehog.
And these are the pink ones as well, because like so far we've just had the yellow ones, which are like 2 hits at my current level of power, whereas they seem to take a little bit longer to knock down, which is always wonderful.
I mean, I think the other reason that Arid Sands Night is the point where like you tend to get sick of the bees is because you've also got the fire wizards thrown in there at the same time, and they're just a bloody nightmare.
Fire Wizard was my favourite meme from the previous version of the playthrough. So what are you on now, Flame? What's this part of the level entail?
This is the Valley of Spirits, and it's a little bit samey, I guess, compared to the last one. It's another sort of these in the little valley sort of area. There's loads of built-up areas around us, although we do get some slightly awkward, I guess, swinging sections, so there's that to balance it out.
I was going to say, can you actually try swinging properly? Because my heart, she cannot take it.
If this is giving you heart attacks, there's one section later on that'll probably finish you off.
I'll brace myself for it then, I suppose.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what part it's in, so have fun with that.
Well, that's not fair. I'm your boss. Come on.
Exactly.
Okay, I see how it is.
For this one, they actually had the consideration of giving us a few boxes to take down the bees, which is the most reliable way to attack the bees. You can start waving your fists around, but most of the time they're just going to back off, and then you kind of just waving your arms randomly like a mad
Oh, this bit. I remember playing this bit myself, actually, and constantly, accidentally dashing forward into the bottomless pit.
That's why you don't use the dash when you're on a tiny little platform.
I can't help it. It's controlled by the analog stick. What if my thumb slips? It's not like accidentally pressing a button. You've got to be a concentrated dumbass in order to do that. But the stick, that's your natural movement thingamabob. Were you in the fire there, or was it passing over you?
I was just about to say.
I think it might be a thing like maybe the damage recognition sort of cuts off a little bit before the graphic does, but that really looked like I should have got hit there.
Ah, well. God, it's so blue on screen right now.
I have completely lost where I am, but I can see where all the enemies are.
Well, as long as you can see the yellow bar going down, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, as long as it is going down and not just staying the same while I'm punching a wall for like a minute straight.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a wonderful place to accidentally jump off the edge.
Oh, yeah.
Are
those platforms even grabbable?
No, they're not.
Ah, okay, so it's a step up from Skyscraper Scamper Night, then.
It is, and we're also going to have quite a tense fight section here in front of the pit.
Oh, no, I do not like that, sir. No, thank you.
As far as I recall, we will get some Titans spawning in a minute as well, and they like to have the shockwave that bounces you back, bounces you around.
That is just awful. Why would they put you through that?
You mentioned it was kind of samey. I have to say, this is one of the most video gamey, sub-levels I've seen in the game thus far. Not particularly natural, but then again, there's a giant blue demon crawling out the ground here, so who am I to judge?
Do you not have them where you live then?
Not really, no. We have the cat variety, the furry little shit demons. Not the blue ones with one eye and horns, no.
Ah, different wildlife, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reverting to my usual strategy of stand there, punch him and take all the hits he has. I'm such a fucking casual with these fights, I don't even care.
Well, you just gotta kill them quick and hope they don't do that massive, shockwave attack, which they tend to do less, I think, when you're near them, don't quote me on that, but they also have a move that can knock you on your arse, so watch out for that.
They have a move that can knock you on the arse, and then before you've had time to mash the button to get back up, they knock you on your arse again.
Oh, yes, I remember that from the HD version of a later level, don't you worry.
They are much worse in the HD one, to be fair. Here, this isn't a retake, by the way, I just got lucky, This particular level is sort of adapting on the last couple. There's more sort of fire things going along the valley. And there's this section where you've got to time yourself to not walk into the thing and destroy the barrel of water that you've saved.
Okay.
Now, that bit at the start with all the doors, that very much reminded me of one of the optional levels in, I think it's Aptos, where basically you've got a massive circular area, just loads of doors.
Oh, in the HD version, yeah, I played
in the HD
that.
version, and the whole point of the mission is to try and, I think it's defeat all the enemies, or you've got to find something in these doors, and I don't know, just seeing all those doors was just like, oh, this is like that one level.
What it reminded me of, actually, is some of the enemy beat-up rooms in Dusty Desert, specifically Silver's run in 06.
See, I was just thinking of Final Eggs, Amy, where you got that door section at the end and you got to go through the right one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Will you be doing the optional levels in the HD one, Flame? Because there are some good ones in there.
I haven't got them. I was just focusing on the story for this playthrough.
Oh, it could have been fun, like post-game kind of stuff.
Well, it's fine. If you want to see optional levels, my solo con did them all, I feel.
Fair enough, fair enough.
You feel you might not have.
I'm pretty sure I did, because I was on that nut job who likes to cover everything.
Yes, you are, mate, but that's why we love you.
Yeah, don't always manage it, but I'm pretty sure I did with those levels. And some of them are bloody hard.
They are, yeah. I remember trying to no-hit run some of them and nearly passed out in anger.
Yeah, you see, this is why I've never had that inkling to do a no-hit run of a Sonic level, because it's just like, no, that's too much stress.
Well, sometimes it doesn't matter if you have an inkling or not. That's not how OCD works, I'm afraid.
I mean, that is very true.
With this one, I will be perfecting everything like of the day ones up until the last level.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
fuck that noise.
I would not ask you to do a no-hit run of Eggman Land. I've tried it. It's borderline impossible at times.
So that was just sort of do it in a few little chunks and try to get the best I possibly could in each section.
Yeah, like try not to die. I could possibly do that after some practice and maybe maxing out my stats, but not getting hit ever, especially in werehog sections and whatnot that are specifically based around swarm of enemies coming at you and punching from all angles. There's just too many variables.
Oh, I didn't even try with any of the werehog ones because I just find it like the way the werehog works is I find it quicker just to be reckless and just like spam at this level with how like maxed out I am. So it's quicker to do that than to try and be careful.
Yeah, for sure.
That is a cool smackdown, yeah.
That's like your favourite werehog move in this run, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's just so satisfying to properly knock them down, like as a last hit. Although it doesn't work when the enemy is on fire. And where the fuck has he gone?
Yeah, he's just fucked up. He showed that thing of fire, I guess.
Oh, there he is.
It was hiding behind you the whole time.
Yeah, he actually had the common sense to hide off screen where I can't go and smash him up.
Well, nobody was on the map, you see.
Oh, right, yeah, the radar. Like, because they don't have that in the HD one, I guess I've just, like... It's not in my peripheral vision, even though I'm facing in the screen right now, and I should be able to see it.
I think at that point in time I was more distracted by going out of my way to find the barrel and, than to actually actively look for him. But here's one of the purple titans, which have more health than the blue ones.
Are these, like, in the HD version, or am I, like...
I don't think so.
No, I think this version of the game more sort of makes them distinct as to their health levels, whereas I think there are different health levels on the Titans. Like, I think the ones in late levels are like more buff than the ones in earlier levels, but it doesn't actually show them as different.
Well, I guess we'll see soon enough since we are covering the game and whatnot.
Well, you see, yes, but you see that depends on whether we remember this conversation by the time it gets to that point.
The commentator's dilemma. Oh shit, that sax tells me one thing. It's HD time, baby.
And these guys.
Well, you saw them in SD, now view them in beautiful 720p, even though Formation isn't anywhere near 720p in real life.
I'm doing the thing where I've got my Xbox upscaling it to 1080, but you will notice that what the game wants you to do is to grab the barrel of water, extinguish them, and then attack them.
No.
But fuck that, I just dive straight into them and then worry about putting myself out later. And that's why I'm not trusted with fire.
Oh, yes. Bit of an ironic username to have that, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, well, I was like 11 and it sounded cool.
Really? I thought you had that name from birth. That's kind of disappointing, actually.
Yeah, that's what my parents called me. They really wanted me to be picked on in school.
Yes, we shall name him NTom64. What's an N64? Don't know. We'll have to wait about 10 years or so. Memories of me equating Fire Wizard with a sexually transmitted disease in the old playthrough. Good times.
Oh.
That was funny once, right?
Humour is subjective. I don't want to say if you laughed at it, you're stupid, but I'm the one who made the joke, and I'm definitely stupid, so there you go.
to be fair, I think I'd completely forgotten that was a thing. It's probably because, like, for the most part, I just block out Arid Sands Night because it's just quite dull and samey, and I'm just like, I don't want to remember this shit.
Well, let's think of some other things we can talk about, since most of the set pieces you've already seen in the Wii version, so I guess we can find other topics to talk about. And I'd rather not repeat Holoska Night with, going to Sonic Retro to look for other more interesting ice levels. So, Flame, tell me a bit about the PS2 version. Why is it? Why does it exist?
Well, this was a point where the PS2 was sort of on its way out, but still alive somehow. So I guess they just thought that they'd take advantage of that, get a little bit more. What it basically is it's a yet again more simplified version of the Wii version. So it has the same levels as Unleashed. It's basically the same game as Unleashed, but it's a lot less detailed in the visual department. I seem to recall Sonic's model being less detailed. That might just be because I've never actually played it, I've just seen videos of it. So this is up to how high quality those video recordings were.
Yeah, for sure.
It's got it looks a lot less jagged, and it looks like a more simplified one with simpler textures and whatnot. But it's basically Unleashed.
The PS2 kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to Sonic ports, and I can't really confirm this myself, but the consensus was the PS2 version of Sonic Heroes was the most glitchy and so on. That's why we used the GameCube version for our run.
Yeah, and same with Shadow. I have a PS2 copy of Shadow because, of course, I fucking do.
Of course.
And it is it feels like it performs much worse. Bear in mind we're playing with a PAL one as well, so it's standard 30 FPS with slowdown on top of that. It's not nice.
Oh yeah, well, it could be worse. It could be the Master System versions of Sonic 1 and 2, or even the Mega Drive versions. Oh my god! The game shot itself there, Jesus.
It could be Sonic Unleashed HD.
Yeah, it could be Sonic Unleashed HD. But yeah, if you want a real kick in the nuts or a head trip, whichever one you find more traumatic, go look for the PAL version of, I guess, the Sonic 1 soundtrack. It's like throwing yourself into a tub of molasses and trying to swim out while someone actually plays the full speed version of Green Hill Zone.
Yeah.
It is pretty fucking terrible. I believe you've said before you're okay with the Starlight version though.
Oh yeah.
See, I don't like that. I think that's bear in mind that Starlight is one of my favourite Sonic songs. I just love that piece.
Oh yeah.
Hearing that slowed down, no, you're ruining a song I love. Stop it.
Man, it's crazy. We have not actually covered in the whole 8 years of HFC, whether it be with FDCR and Gareth, etc., or just you guys. We haven't covered the original Sonic game at all. We've just done all the others.
Maybe one day.
For sure.
Maybe one day. Flame, remind me if I am correct, but isn't there a gauntlet up the stairs that are just behind where we're standing here? And they are. It's one of the worst gauntlets in the game because it just throws a ridiculous number of enemies, and it's just why?
Do not go up those fucking stairs. It's like a no-go zone. You won't be coming back because they've got just what seems like an endless cycle of the fucking wizard enemies that keep fucking healing themselves. If you go up there, you're dedicating at least 5 minutes to what it feels like at least.
Well, I think you'd be okay, given your maxed out stats, but at the time you get into Arid Sands Night to begin with, you're probably going to be under-leveled from what the game's expecting of you. So, yeah, just take Papa Entom's advice and don't go up the stairs.
Yeah.
There is actually an unused section of this level toward the end. It's why in the final room you'll see there's a door that's sort of locked off. And there's not actually anything of value behind there. It's another little section that's about this sort of size. And you have to use a particular glitch to clip your way through the wall to be able to see it in the first place. I can't remember exactly what that is, but there's a certain input that if you do, it pushes the werehog forward when it's not meant to, and that somehow or the other bypasses the wall's programming it as a solid object.
Nice.
So if you want to clip through, and I've seen different speedruns and shit where they've used that in parts of Eggman Land as well, just to skip through sections, and it's just so cool.
So where are we pushing this exactly, Flame?
I'm just taking my boulder for a walk.
Okay. Well, more of a cube than a boulder, really. You gotta respect the artisanship of it, the craftsmanship.
Yeah, in this area that doesn't look like people come through here that often, there are these perfectly shaped cubes.
You deserve that. You deserve to be knocked on the ground and repeatedly smacked into a wall for not having respect.
I mean, also for not going to try and get that really difficult Moo medal that's just sort of sitting up there.
Mm-hmm. I love how you just instantly run to the ring, or it would have been a key piece at the time, you know, as soon as it appears.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother fighting guys if I don't have to. Come on now. Yeah, we're not quite done in Arid Sands just yet, in Shamar.
Boss time, I take it.
Yeah, boss time, but before that we've got climbing around time because of, you know, that's what the Werehog likes to do.
You know, a bit of climbing never hurt anyone, except the guys who climb up really high and that fucking collectible on the left. Jesus.
I know, it's like, Flame, pick the damn thing up!
Oh well, Flame's gonna do what a Flame's gonna do. Now, the Dark Guardian, the boss of Shamar. In the HD version, not so fun, as we'll see in a minute, but from all the videos I've seen and what I've played of the Wii version, all of it, but most of my gaming memories are gone, this is actually pretty decent for a Sonic Unleashed boss fight.
Well, I'm not even sure if I'm doing the right thing. I've always done this stuff, just he doesn't seem to be that distinct in what he's doing to start with, so whenever he's got his feet on the floor, I just keep on lumping him and win.
What is he doing? Oh my god, he's charging a spirit bomb!
Yeah, he has lightning powers somehow, but yeah, just go back, punch him again. I know I'm basically describing the entire Werehog gameplay, but this one stands out in particular. Just punch him and occasionally you get knocked back, but at the pace I'm knocking him down, does it really matter?
Not really, no.
I mean, I have to say, this is certainly a lot more, I say exciting in massive air quotation marks, because to be fair, there's not really that much unique stuff happening, but you're actually fighting the Dark Guardian here, and in the HD version, you're not fighting him, which is just really...
Yeah, it's more the level that fights him for you in the HD version, as we'll see.
Yeah.
Slight nitpick, I have to say here, and it's not really, you know, an Unleashed exclusive thing. I hate getting out of stun lock by using anything other than a button. And,
I
you know, in the case of Metal Gear Rising, when you have to spin the stick so hard you accidentally end up hitting the Xbox 360's home button, that's a problem.
Yes.
Although that is an Xbox controller problem rather than a game one, although it's still annoying.
I suppose. Oh, that's a shame. He didn't trigger his little quick time event thingy.
No, I just punched him. Also, this is taking quite a while to actually recognise that I won.
You were slowly sliding away there. Not bad, mate, not bad.
Yeah, even though I haven't got a fucking clue what I meant to do in that boss, I've still got an S rank, so...
Yeah,
you know.
whatever.
This one I really don't care for. It's kind of an irritating boss. What you're meant to do is those blocks you see on the floor, you're meant to push those to the other end while occasionally dodging him and his attacks and his little minions that try to push them the other way.
Looks like I can push this box thing.
Ah, good job. I can push it. Yeah, here I go.
I can push it except for when the dead guy's in the fucking way.
Yeah, so it's more like a puzzle fight than just a fighty fight, you know? Yeah.
This isn't a puzzle, this is a wait until the fence goes down game.
Hey, come on, it's a puzzle in the sense that you've got to, you know, time your pushes, you know, you've got to, like, navigate enemies and whatnot. Those are puzzle attributes, I suppose.
I guess it's a puzzle in the way that the ball puzzle's a puzzle.
I suppose it's a puzzle in the way that you've got to, like, kind of gauge how much sleep you need to be a productive person every day, you know?
Oh, so you got to do that thing where you go to bed at 6 and wake up at 3, got it?
Well, maybe stop fucking waifu posting all the time. I need you for playthroughs, you know.
Hey, I've got my priorities straight, I think.
Yeah, sure. It's just kind of annoying that, like, he's a nuisance instead of an actual threat in this version of the fight. So you knock him down and he's like, oh, I'm immortal, I'm up again. Oh, I hope he doesn't destroy the wall that's keeping me alive for some reason.
like, his minions are more of a nuisance than he is, really, because his minions actually push the blocks the other way, like, to make it take longer for you, whereas he just sort of stands there and occasionally does some lightning shit. Oh, look at that fucker there! Like, I'm distracted, and he takes the opportunity to try and sneakily push it away.
That's hilarious, though.
It is, but annoying.
Oh, come on, do the quick time event thing. It's hype as hell.
Oh, I'm just doing the pushy block thing. I like Catherine, okay? This is my shit.
Okay, fair enough, mate. I actually watched a whole LP of that. I won't say recently, a few months ago, from the two best friends, and no, I've still not received my shilling check yet. I'm still waiting on that shit. You know, Pat and Matt and Wooly hit me up, not Liam. He's gone now, sadly.
Well, you see, they're sort of friends with the Grumps, so that kind of balances out when you talk about them.
True.
Nearly done. Just got one more little fence to bypass then.
And don't think that the railings won't come up from underneath when you're pushing a block over the railing slots, by the way. They can and will.
It's enough to not actually hurt you, enough to be a problem, but it's enough to annoy you.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever the fuck that thing is broke, so bye.
Is he doing it? Is he doing it?
Yay!
Fuck yeah. And you're like, no! Grr! Punch!
Thank you for narrating what's happening.
That's really unsatisfying that he didn't die due to that, and you just have to do a few piddly little punches to seal the deal.
Yeah.
Huh, Amy's better than you. Suck my weird dick. Yeah, I'm the best. Oh, thank God we're done with Shamar now. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh. Praise the Lord.
Not in this part of the world. Hour, I would think. Is there a Sonic version of
that would be
Hour?
accurate.
Let's not go down that route. I'm going to just leave it on the table. Anyone else who's better suited to discussing that sort of thing can pick it up and talk about it. Ooh, is that the grey emerald? I can't really tell. It looks orange in its aura right now. Yes, it's the yellow one. Okay, they're all grey when they're devoid of power. That's my fault. The grey emerald in STC was the control emerald. That was never brought up in any other media. See you guys next time for more Sonic Unleashed.